This video contains World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor spoilers. Hi, my name is Nerlex and I've played since Warlords launch and recently got to level 100. Here are my thoughts on leveling and the general experience of the launch day. I've tried to read as minimum as I could about Warlords of Draenor, so coming into the expansion all I've seen was the infographic about the garrisons and the livestream of Ashran battles. I've heard multiple people in forums and Reddit mention that leveling took them from 6 to 10 hours in general, and I was quite disappointed by that. But when I first started leveling, by the time of me exiting my first zone, I understood that that was either wrong or I'm just really slow quester. For me, it took a little above 17 hours to reach level 100. I could have of course done it a little faster, but I wanted to experience the zones to the max, without leaving any quests or bonus objectives undone. I followed the main quest line and did the quests that were near it. One thing that I've noticed is that mostly all quests in all locations have around the same amount of experience. I've tested that by returning to Gorgrond at level 98 to finish two quests that I've gave up on, and to my surprise they gave the same amount of experience that the quests in Spires of Arak gave. That was also the moment I've noticed that throughout the levels, the experience cap increased only by a couple of thousands. That's an addition to the game that I like very much. By the time I've reached level 100, I've gathered about 10,000 gold and multiple crafting regions, as well as about 1400 garrison resources. That number does not include the fact that I've built level 1 buildings for every part of my level 2 garrison. As always, launch day lags affected the leveling tremendously. For the first two zones though, I got lucky and didn't have it at all. But as soon as I've started wrapping up with Talador, they have hit me hard. Throughout the whole duration of Spires of Arak and Nagrand, I've had 1 or 2 second delays on my spells, and that severely impacted the leveling experience as well as leveling speed. That also left a weird feeling about these zones, like they were not as good as they were intended to be, as well as in comparison to the other zones in general. Spies of Arak questline was weird, and by most of my guildies considered not very fun. I kinda agree with that statement, but I also consider the last parts of the quests in the zone very immersive and fun. I won't talk about them so you could see them for yourselves. I will definitely return to them later on an alternate character to see if my first impressions just weren't true, and I really hope that is what I will see there. As already was said, not by me though, one of the major reasons why this launch was so unstable for people is because Warlords of Draenor did not introduce a new race or class. There was no specific location for them, meaning each and every level 90 went into the same quest line respective to their faction. Now, one thing I very liked is the random high-level elites walking around Frostfire Ridge. It actually made me aware of my surroundings, made me watch out for them, and consider not running into them. I believe that's the same as the Burning Crusade elites wandering around in outlets like Fellreaver for the Hellfire Peninsula and so on. Most of the soundtracks for different zones were amazing. They were rich and joyful and were in the theme of the surroundings I was in. Especially Frostfire Ridge, that was just above the expectations I had. Like, I was not expecting them to be that good. As it always is with Blizzard, dialogues and interactions were filled with jokes and references. It was really refreshing to chuckle on a joke mid-leveling or to see a familiar reference. When encountering rares, first of all, they were spawning like crazy throughout the leveling. I guess that's only to do with the launch, and hopefully will be toned down later, but even some at level 100 that I've encountered seemed too weak and did almost no damage and required me just to stand there and damage them till they have 0 health left. Some of them had an ability that hit me hard, but I could have just interrupted it and that's it. It didn't feel dangerous or exceptionally challenging, which would be the appropriate for the level 100 plus elites. Now class perks felt like things that were just stripped of the initial abilities and later added, which would represent a bonus feature, but the way we got it make me feel like I'm getting something back, rather actually getting something new, because these perks were kinda always a part of a spell already or was available as a glyph. So to wrap things up, my goal with reaching level 100 so fast was to be able to do dailies and stuff I needed for further raiding faster. After I did it, and I got to level 100, the instance servers were almost non-existent, so I couldn't access my garrison. I've googled dailies and the legendary questline, and as I thought, all of the quest givers were located in my garrison, which I couldn't access at all. Well, then I thought about checking out Ashran, like it was fun in the livestream preview. Nope, I couldn't access it also because the only way to get it for the first time was from a flight master, which conveniently was located in my garrison. So I've just done some more quests in Agrand, went off to a city in Talador to give my followers the last missions for the day, and went off to sleep. Out of all the zones, my favorite was of course Frostfire Ridge. It was just cool. It had an evolving questline filled with emotions, sacrifices, helping the Frost Wolves, and was just built. I just liked it very much. And as I mentioned before, the soundtrack made it even more awesome. And it looked beautiful, not because it was like designed beautifully as it was, but the simplicity of the zone was just beautiful for me. I can't really explain it very well. Nagrand gets a honorable mention because of its beauty, but quests weren't as much involving as the ones in Frostfire Ridge. So that was my first time staying for 20 plus hours and experiencing something like that. I do not regret this choice. It was fun, even with all the downsides I've spoken about. But it was fun for me because I managed to skip the necessary garrison part before everybody else. Well, not before, but just faster, before it broke down. So that's the reason why I could have enjoyed it thus far. Hopefully everything will be gone by tomorrow, and we will be able to enjoy the game to its fullest. So thanks for watching, and see you around in Draenor.